was a very wonderful session, sir. At the end of this program, again, your services will be required, sir. Thank you so much. And the next talk will be on fire safety measures with respect to schools and educational institutes. Lieutenant Colonel Dinesh Chandra Vasishji, presently working on deputation as Joint Director, National Institute of Disaster Management. Sir was commissioned into Army Ordnance Corps in September 2000. He is a supply chain management professional with over 19 years of experience in managing the entire gamut of supply chain grid. The officer has excelled academically with master's degree in management, apart from logistics management courses with specialization in ammunition and other warlike stores. And the officer has commanded an ordnance unit of prestigious Strike Corps of Indian Army and have exposure on various command and staff duties in all type of operations and terrain. Over to you, Vasith sir.
Panda ji, can you hear me? Am I audible?
बिल्कुल sir. Kindly, अपना share कर दीजिए.
Thank you. I must take this opportunity first of all to welcome everybody, all the delegates who are present there from all. Many schools have represented here, and I must thank Zone 4 for giving us an opportunity to collaborate with you, to interact with the entire length and breadth of the countries, all the schools. In fact, many schools have come in here. So, per se, this subject is very dear to all of us because all of us are having children and they are all school going, and we are all privy to these conditions, these emergencies, and these disasters which can always happen in school. And in the past, many times we have had an experience of these kind of disasters. I would once again welcome all the delegates for this faculty development program, and I'm sure that we will learn. We at NIDM will also learn through this interaction. So to start with, I would like to share a small presentation which I could make in this short time frame, which was given to this opportunity was given to my Shri Ashish Panda ji. So I'll share my screen. Is my screen visible?
हाँ बिल्कुल सर kindly. Thank you. सर फुल स्क्रीन कर दीजिए. हाँ हो गया सर. Thank you.
Okay. So to start with, the topic given to me is fire hazard in school safety. So why a fire? Please excuse me for a second. Just my video.
Shared.
So why is school safety so important? We all have heard from the eminent speakers in the past. One day we have had interactions. Last 2 days we are having this interaction. That why school safety is so important. So we all understand that that the safe environment for children starting back from their homes to schools and to come back. So as a parent, every parent is worried when they leave their child for a school in a school, and then they all pray that he safely comes back. We all have done this for our children. So the schools are prone to large-scale natural hazards. We all know that, and we have learned in past 2 days this thing also, that what kind of hazards these schools can face. So school is no more a special building. It is another building and another organization wherein we are sending our children. The teachers are also there. Other staff is also there. So everybody is prone to some kind of problems or the hazards. Everybody is getting exposed to these hazards. So safety from fires, transportation, emergency, and environmental threat are some of the school safety measures which I could chalk out. So as I was saying that in the past also we have had many criticalities wherein schools were involved and many children have lost their lives. Unfortunately, these schools due to fire, the slide which I'm showing you here is the accidents which are like in Dabwali, which is very famous in Haryana. 200 students were killed in a prize distribution ceremony. The tent caught fire, and there was no escape routes. There had been many studies after that what went wrong in that disaster. So NIDM was involved in these studies, and we have also published those studies for these fires and this earthquake, wherein children have lost their lives. So what went wrong and what were the lessons learned? So I would try to give a short talk on the lessons learned what NIDM has promulgated to the environment. Anybody who is interested to read more on these lessons learned can go on to the NIDM website, wherein uh, we have published those fire safety do's and don'ts along with the studies on our website. So these are the numbers which are quite unfortunate. Why the children have lost their lives? There are many due to fires. If we can see through this slide. So what is the chemistry of fire? We all understand. We all are teachers. A fire, it requires oxygen. It requires a source. It produces the fuel mixes up with oxygen, and it produces the CO2 and the CO, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, along with heat, which causes a lot of accidents. So this is quite basic. And since I am an army officer, and predominantly my area of exposure in army is logistics, and my one of the core interest is to save my stores, which is prone to fires from any fire accident. So in army, it's a big. Basically, our stores are quite big. Our fires are quite big. I used to deal with the ammunition, basically ammunition and firearms accidents and fires. So they were quite big, as we could see in Lebanon what happened day before yesterday. So those kind of fires, I am experienced and I've studied in those kind of fires. So main thing which is taught to us there also is to curtail the oxygen. It is to contain the basically whatever the fuel is, whether it is any wood or anything which is there, which is present there. So we need to block the oxygen to make it contain there only, and not, it doesn't spread. So there are many ways, like we sprinkle water, we put a foam kind of a extinguisher, we create an environment for that kind of that fuel, that it doesn't get the oxygen, so that it can spread up. So main thing is to contain fire is the oxygen. So we should contain the oxygen, the fire would automatically be turned off. So many accidents in the past wherein I have personally experienced, wherein ammunition fires have been doused out. An accident which is in memory of all of us is at in central India near Nagpur, in India also, wherein central ammunition depot at Kulgaon got a blast occurred in one of the sheds, and the fire spread across to 2 to 3 nearby sheds. A lot of explosion was heard at about 10 to 20 miles distance also. So here we are studying for the school per se. So, but I am connecting the schools through a basic of fire. So this slide gives what are the stages of fire. One is incipient stage, smoking stage, flame stage, and heat stage. So incipient is there is no smoke visible. The fire would start. There are many sources wherein a fire could start. So one of the any source which we can think of, could be electrical fire, also could be a fire through chemical spillage in a school, a fire in the paper where children, like in Diwali days, we also as children have seen that many children used to go in the toilets and burn firecrackers. So these could lead to accidents. Any of this would give a fire. Any source like papers, a dump of papers, or the dust bins where the papers are left around. So they are the possible areas where the fire could catch on. So incipient stage, these are the stages which we should all know that in the first stage where there will be no smoke, then the smoke would be visible, then a flame would be start, smoke would be more, then the heat stage, which would be quite uncontrollable, and therein we need to put all the emergency measures in place. So these are the various hazards which I could chalk out while thinking about a school. Is the electrical fire, short circuits is the major cause of fire. as we could as in the recent past in Gujarat, one of the coaching center got fire. It got fired upon, and the fire due to electric short circuit. The coaching center was on the fourth floor of a shopping mall, and there was no escape route for the children. And the memory is quite clear still for many of us, as we could see on TV, that children were jumping off the roof of the building where uh, this coaching center was there. So electrical fire is the most prominent fire in the schools. Electronic equipments like computers, due to the short circuiting, again they can catch fire. Chemical fires like in the chemistry labs or the labs wherein the students are doing the practices with various types of chemicals. So school is prone to those kind of fires. So oil fire in like we all have generators in the school. So oil and petrols, diesel, they are stored at one place. They can also catch fire due to negligence. Furniture and furnishings, we all understand that school have got everything which is wooden or the cloth material, so they may catch fire very easily. Rubbers, plastic items, there are a lot of things in the school which can catch fire very easily. So this is one list which I could make out. There could be many other things also wherein this schools may be prone to fire hazard. The school safety is salient features the raising which I'll show this slide later on. The classes of fire I would like to touch upon here is the Class A fire. There are various classes, Class A to Class F. We should all know. Other speakers must have already covered this. But once we give a call to the firefighting crew or the firefighters, we should be aware of certainly as teachers or the people who are the first responders who are seeing what is that fire about. If the firefighting crew is told what kind of fire it is, or if we can identify the type of fire, the crew would come prepared with those kind of firefighting equipments, those fire, those kind of who are seeing what is that fire about. If the firefighting crew is told what kind of fire it is, or if we can identify the type of fire, the crew would come prepared with those kind of firefighting equipment, those kind of. Hello, hello, Panda ji. Hello.
हाँ बोलिए सर, बोलिए, बीच में थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम होता है, लेकिन बोलिए, आवाज आ रही है। कैरी ऑन सर, प्लीज।
Okay. So class A fires is various type of combustible materials. It is caused by the common things like wood, paper, and fabric. I've given some examples here. The other is the class B fire. These are flammable liquids, petrol, turpentine, and paints, etc. Class C is the hydrogen, methane, all types of gases. They are covered in class C fires. So, Kishan ji, could you mute yourself?
हेलो, आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि इसको म्यूट करें प्लीज।
Kishan ji, please mute yourself because आपकी आवाज rebound हो रही है. Class C fires, hydrogen, butane, or methane, or any type of flammable gases. In this Class C types of fire, we have various types of gases. Class D fire, combustible materials like chemical, magnesium, aluminum.
सर आवाज में इको आ रहा है।
हाँ, there's a lot of echo in this. So I think there's some issue with the.
नकुल जी,
हेलो,
बिना माइक के बोले, बिना माइक के।
बिना माइक के तो आवाज ही नहीं आएगा.
सर बोलिए, अभी आ रही है आवाज।
हेलो, आवाज आ रहा है मेरे?
हाँ आ रही, बोलिए सर।
So these are the various types of fires which I have given here. Echo तो नहीं हो रहा पांडा जी?
नहीं अभी
हो रहा
अभी
सब नहीं।
बोले बोले
Okay, okay. Class F fires are the cooking oils, typically the chip and fry, the cooking oils. These are the various fire extinguishers which you all might have seen. So they are. I will explain each of them. Like the as shown in this picture. This picture I've taken from Google. So all the types of fire extinguishers which are easily available, which are available in the schools, they are displayed here. So first is the if we see water written on the powder, and there are two water kind of fire extinguishers. So they are water fire extinguishers are used for class A type of fire. So the class A, as we have seen in the last slide, it is wooden fire, paper fire, or any cloth material. So the water type of fire extinguishers can be used in that kind of a fire. Where it can't be used is the electrical fire, as we all know that water can't be used in the electrical fires. Other fires where it can't be used are the class C fires, or the fires in the liquids like petrol or diesel. So here the water can't be used. Next would be the foam type of fire extinguishers, as you have seen, as you can see in the picture. Foam type of extinguisher is used in the organic materials like wood, paper, and it can be used for liquid and class A fires, liquid like petrol or kerosene, and paint and petrol paints, various types of paints. It can be used. This foam types. It can't be used as the electrical fire again. The other is the DCP type of fire extinguisher, dry chemical powder. As it is written powder, so it is dry chemical powder. DCP it is called. It is again used for organic fires like wood, paper, cloth material. It can be used in the liquids like paint, petrol, fires. Flammable gases like LPG and all, it can be this DCP powder can be used, and this powder can also be used in the electrical panels as fitted in the schools. Because in the schools it is below 1000 volts of any circuit of or the panel of electricity. So there it can be used. So we should all know where these kind of fire extinguishers can be used. So electrical fire, so never make a mistake of putting a foam type of or a water type of fire and taking it towards the electrical panel, because it may lead to current, or to the individual who is carrying the fire extinguisher. So for any electrical panel, we can use this DCP. This is dry chemical powder, as it is written in the blue. It is always the color coding is same as is shown in the pictures. It is throughout the universe. This the universal coding given to the firefighting equipment. The colors have been given to firefighting equipment, so that in case somebody who is not able to read English, he can see the color. Shri Ravinandan ji, could you mute yourself? So this is one dry chemical powder type. It can be used in the electrical fires where the circuit is up to 1000 volts. Another is a CO2 type in the black. If you see a extinguisher on the right hand side of the screen, is the black with the black marking CO2. So this kind of a extinguisher can be used in the flammable liquids and the electrical fires also beyond 1000 volts. So the dry chemical powder and the CO2 both can be used for electrical fires. Where this CO2 can't be used, uh, as we all know, carbon dioxide can't be used in the kitchen fires, class A fires, that is wood, paper. These things, the CO2 should not be used in these kind of fires. So the any kind of flammable metals also, CO2 can't be used. There's another which is on the left side of the screen on the yellow strip. It is written wet chemical. So it can be used in the class F of the fires, which was cooking oil, as we have seen in the last slide. So this kind of fire extinguisher can be used there, and it can be used on the organic materials like paper, wood, etc. also. So these kind of fire extinguishers, as teachers or as the administration in the school, we should give a training to each and every person who can handle and who can lift these fire extinguishers. Shri Kishan ji, please mute yourself. So they should be trained and they should know what kind of fire is there and what kind of extinguishers we can use in that kind of a fire. So in the school, at prominent at the places where people are moving in, out, or where the people who can easily lay their hands onto this firefighting equipment, we should place a firefighting point. We should make a fire point therein where we should include the fire extinguishers which can douse fires for the very like fires which we can see that foresee that where the school can is hazardous to, like the electrical fire, the chemical fire, or the fires due to paper, wood, etc. So a fire point should consider all types of fire extinguishers which we feel that the school may get fire due to these kind of things. So the school fire points should be made in a way that the fire extinguishers, a bucket filled with sand, a fire hook, and bucket 2 to 3 buckets filled with water should always be kept ready at the fire point. That should be a very prominent place, and it should be painted in the red in case we are putting a shed over it, so that it is visible from a distance to anybody who sees at the time of fire, because it is an emergency situation and there will be a lot of chaos in case of actual fire. So it should be placed at a prominent place and it should be marked in Hindi and English that aag or fire. And this should include various types of fire extinguishers, which should be planned as per the school's requirement and as per the type of the equipment or the profile of the school. If they have a lab, uh, they should have a fire extinguisher which can douse the chemical fires. So these kind of things should be kept in mind before making a fire point in the school. So the equipment which I have told you should always be there on a fire point. Other than this, these equipments, there should be a gong placed at each fire point. A gong, a bell, a big gong, which should be, in case of fire, a person should run towards that fire point and he should start ringing that bell or that gong, and so that everybody knows that there is a fire in the school, and so that everybody is alerted by the sound of that gong. Or as these days the gong, since the fire point would be outside at very prominent places, we have these days sirens and other equipment installed in the schools also. They can be also used, but in case you see we have got all the equipments in the schools, like the siren, electrical siren, and other things. But in case of electrical fire, will need to switch off the main switch. So in that case, these gongs would be very helpful. Gongs and these sounds of aag aag. So these should be practiced at various intervals. Maybe once in a quarter, the fire should be practiced. The fire drills should be practiced in the school with the involvement of the school children, so that they are also given an exposure to fight fire in case the school have some kind of a fire. Other measures which I can see with a fire point, the guards at the main gate and the rear gate of the school. Every school has got a main gate, rear gate, and 2 to 3 exit points in the school in the boundary walls. So the guards who are standing there, they should all be manned with a whistle at every point of time. In case of fire, they should be taught that the whistle with short bursts, they should start sounding aga aga, and the whistle should also be started within the short bird, fir, like that. So the guard should also be trained in the school to in case of they see any fire, so how do they react to that fire. So they should also know, the guards and the prominent administrative staff and the teacher should also know where is the fire points located. Apart from these fire points, we should have a main fire point wherein we should have all kinds of fire extinguishers placed at those points, along with, if I've said two water buckets on one fire point, there they should be having 10 water buckets full with water at all point of time. At every time, the water buckets, the sand buckets, the fire hooks, the fire extinguishers, they should be all times, they should be serviceable, the water bucket should be full, and they should and the school should always keep in mind that yes, the fire would can take place at any point of time. So how do we douse it? Then the drills should start from there. So we should not go with the pretext that school can't catch a fire at any point of time. We have seen in the past that there have been many accidents. So as a school administrator or a teacher, we should always keep an eye on the various precautionary measures we should take so that the fire should not take place. But in case of fire is there, we should know how to go about handling the fire instead of creating a emergent situation at that point of time. So what to use and what not to when and what to use, this is another chart. So schools should prominently display at all the fire points, and they should regularly take the training sessions for the teachers and the administrative and the security staff on the usage of fire extinguishers. These are some of the fire safety tips which we could think of at this point of time. Though I have given a practical experience how to handle a minor fire, but these are some of the tips where which I could not speak in my last 15 odd minutes. Like we should have an escape plan for the school. Like I was saying, that boundary wall should have an in-gate, out-gate, and other exits, 2 to 3 exits from wherein, in case of fire, the fire department vehicles can enter. The fire bowsers, the big vehicles which we see on the road, they could enter the school premises easily. So we should always keep these doors which are in the boundary walls clear of any foliage or any tree plantation or any bushes around those gates. And we should always see that yes, in case of fire, the water bowsers would enter, or the firefighters would enter from this gate. It may be possible that the fire is towards the main gate or the rear gate, so other gates should alternate entry and exit points should always be there. We should always have a plan for how to an exit plan for school children, how they should exit from in case of fire, and how they should be taken out. So the age of the children should be kept in mind. A child up to fifth class, he may not be able to think that where to rush. So there should be guides, or there should be teachers who can guide them to the exits. So that responsibility of guiding, that responsibility of opening the emergency gates, that responsibility of ringing the fire alarm, or ringing that gong or the whistle, these responsibilities should be chalked out at this point of time. So these are some of the precautionary measures which we should all follow, and this should be planned now, because the fire doesn't give us time, and since it could happen now also, so we should be prepared now onwards. So we should not give us time that we can do it tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Fire. So it is very important that we should keep our plans ready, and by name we should detail the teachers, the administrative staff who would handle what in case of fire. So an SOP, the standard operating procedures, should be made in the school for fire. An SOP on fire should be made in each school, and that SOP should be read out to each one in the school. Basically the administration and the teachers, they should be aware of their duties and responsibilities in case of fire. Always follow the building bylaws. We know that what happened in Upahar case in Delhi. wherein there were very less exit points, and many people died while they were seeing a movie in a cinema hall. But after that, the building bylaws and the agencies have got more strict, and the fire department has nowadays stopped giving NOC without the bylaws on fire are being followed. So once the if the exit routes have been planned, so due to the staff shortage or children due to the children using those routes should never be put under lock and keys. In case the school feels that they should be put on lock and keys, the person should be available there at that point of exit point to open that exit point at that particular point of time in case of emergency. So the emergency routes or the exit plan which have been approved by the fire department should always be clear of any locks or any gates or any obstruction, like tables and chairs. They are sometimes they are put on the staircases which are not used by the children frequently. So these kind of obstructions should be seen by the school management, and they should be removed, and these gates should be always be kept open. They should not be locked. Set out a fire alarm. The fire practice it should be practiced, as I have said earlier. Practice moving through escape routes with eyes closed during the normal times, so that in case of there is no electricity, or since the schools are open in the daytime only, so I don't foresee that that the people may not see the routes at a certain point of time. But once the fire starting catching up and the smoke fills up some the staircases, there we should know that how to get out of this that particular staircase or that pathway by closing our eyes. Always keep escape evacuation routes clear of the blockades. Keep storage and working areas free from crashes. Staff on cafeteria should be more cautious because they are working the kitchen. That what I have seen as in my experience in past many years, that in the industrial canteen especially, the staff is since they are working day in day out, they always forget basically the precautionary measures we should take for fire prevention. I will not say fire fighting. So these preventive measures should always be checked by the school administration, and it should be a daily routine in one or the other offices or the cafeteria or the library or the chemistry lab or the physics lab. There we should go every day. We should have a routine of the entire fire staff or the security staff to visit these kind of places and to check for the fire extinguishers. These fire extinguishers should be checked regularly, and the refill in case of water extinguishers or the soda type or the foam type of extinguishers. The refill, in case the fire extinguishers have been used during practice sessions, they should be refilled then and there only. Instead of waiting that we'll refill it in the on the next day. The fire extinguishers which are ready to be used, which are available, small fire extinguishers which are kept in offices also. So I see many big cafeterias and canteens are having those small, about 500 ml of fire extinguishers placed in their cafeteria. So they are not sufficient for that kind of a kitchen or that kind of a work area. So the school administration should check for the type of fire and what kind of equipment would be required at that kind of a place. Always maintain the first aid kit, as I was seeing in the previous session. That first aid was explained in a very detailed manner. But the first aid kit, you must see the first aid kit very regularly. There are many medicines which are required, but once you open it after a long period, you will find that many medicines have the shelf life would have expired. So the bandages, the crepe bandages, so they should be replaced at particular intervals. So these first aid kits should also be checked regularly by the administration or the management of the school. Inflammables like kerosene, gas cylinders, the petrol, the lubricants, they should be kept out of reach of these students, the children especially. They don't know how to handle it, and they may, it may, their handling these kind of things may lead to accidents. The electrical appliances should be put out first in case of any fire breakouts. So these are very practical things which I am explaining. Every one of us knows these things, but at the time of now is the preparatory phase for fire prevention measures. So as I say that now is the time to act for those things, and we should check everything every day. Like a team should be made that you will check only the fire equipment. So you should not come, sir, I have checked and everything is fine. You should go at each and every point. You should click photographs. You should show to the management, yes, I have seen. And the management should also be always on their foot in these matters where firefighting and security is concerned. The fire extinguisher should always be in operating conditions. The locks, the chains, the pull-out pins, they should be checked very regularly. The like the alarm systems, the panels. If we see the electrical systems, so it should have a backup of a generator, or it should be on a UPS. So it should not always be there that since the point, if we go up that in case of fire, all the electrical appliances or the electrical system should be shut out from the main panel board. But since our electrical sprinkler system in these modern day schools, it works on the electricity, so it should have a alternate power backup for these kind of things. So once the vendor installs these kind of security equipments in the firefighting equipments in your school, so the management should always, the administration should always ask them what is the alternate in case of there is no electricity supply to these kind of sophisticated automated systems. So that should be kept in mind, and people should be made aware that in case this fails, the second option is this in case of fire. So always we should prepare for the alternative. Like if in case this fails, so what is next? In case that fails, what is next? So these kind of things should be planned well in advance in case of schools. So the children should always be taken into these training sessions. It is not that children are very small to see this. A first class student can also understand how to handle a fire in case the teacher or the person uh, so the safety rules should be taught to children, and in the practice session, the children should be involved always because they are in major numbers. A school like I see an APJ school, they might be having about 1,500 schools on their rolls, 1,500 students on their rolls. Sorry, so those 1,500 children, out of them would be beyond 8th or 9th class children can handle they can be taught to handle the fire extinguishers also, so that they can also be helpful in the firefighting in the school and to evacuate the small children to the exit route which have been planned. So children should be made part of the training sessions in the fire safety. Rush out from the classroom without panicking and causing stampedes is one major thing which should be taught to children always. So these practice sessions, as like in my student days, I have never gone through these kind of sessions in the school. So I think that these days these things are being taught to the children. They should not panic, or how to avoid stampede, or how to avoid the entire that environment which is created, the panic situation which is created. So these are the some of the practical things which I could see while I've been given this topic. So disaster can come at any time. So take precautions because before it's too late. So this is what I can think on school safety and fire hazards. So these are some of the practical things which I could share with you. Anything or any detailed thing and how to prepare SOP or anything else in case the school fails. So I think Zone 4 solutions, they may be able to help, or in case if somebody is struck somewhere, so they can
Aarti?
they can speak.
इधर दे, डॉक्टर का फोन आया, पता नहीं क्या कह रहे हैं वो। रुक जा 1 मिनट।
सर थैंक यू। आपने बहुत ही डिटेल में और बहुत बढ़िया प्रेजेंटेशन किया। बहुत अच्छा लगा, हम लोगों ने फुल तसल्ली से जिसको हम लोगों ने सुना। और सर मैं आपको ये अपडेट करना चाहता हूँ कि इसमें जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं इसमें से 60% स्कूल को ऐसे हैं जिनके साथ आपका 1-to-1 है, तो बहुत ही अच्छा उन्होंने अपने फायर के लिए। प्लीज बाकी लोग अपना माइक बंद रखें तो अच्छा रहेगा। बहुत ही अच्छा आया का बच्चों को, इवन छोटे छोटे बच्चों को भी। एक स्कूल में मैं ट्रेनिंग के लिए गया तो मैं आपको अपडेट करना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने मुझे बताया, बच्चों ने बताया, मैं कहा बेटा तुम्हारे बैग में अगर लेट से ऐसा ना करे आग लग गया तो। बोला सर क्या हुआ, हमारे हर बैग में 1 लीटर पानी रखा है, 30 लीटर पानी तो हमारे क्लास में ही रखा है। तो आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि छोटे बच्चे भी जो हैं वो फायर की जो बेसिक ट्रेनिंग है बढ़िया एक्सेप्ट करते हैं और उस पर काम भी करते हैं। एक बच्चे से बच्चों से मैंने पूछा, मैंने कहा बेटा अगर मान लीजिए आपके क्लास के एक साइड किसी कारण से फायर हो जाए, तो बोला क्या हुआ सर, हमारे पैर बहुत मजबूत है, हम तो भाग जाएंगे, ग्राउंड में हमें मैडम ने बता रखा है कहाँ जाना है, वो सेफ प्लेस हमें वहां सिखाया गया है। तो मैं केवल ये कहना चाहता हूं सर कि छोटे बच्चे इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं और आगे आप लोगों ने जो मार्गदर्शन दिया है, जो स्कूल को आप गाइड किया है, उस पर हम लोग आगे और काम करेंगे। पांडा साहब, डॉक्टर साहब आ गए हैं क्या? हेलो पांडा साहब, प्रोफेसर अनिल गुप्ता साहब हैं क्या ऑनलाइन? एक मिनट, शायद उन्हीं का फोन है। जी हाँ चला। अच्छा, तो प्रोफेसर साहब का वो एक्चुअली वो कनेक्शन में कुछ इशू हो रहा है, तब तक हम लोग और बातें करते हैं। एक वीडियो तो सुबह हम लोगों ने आपको दिखाया था, जीतन सिंह, राहुल सिंह है क्या अवेलेबल? राहुल सिंह है ऑनलाइन? हेलो, शायद वो भी नहीं है, वो भी प्रोफेसर साहब के साथ है।
हेलो
राहुल सिंह, यस प्लीज।
गुड आफ्टरनून।
करता हूँ, ये हमारे एक स्कूल के टीचर हैं, लेकिन ये डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में वॉलंटियर है। ये
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come and speak with you people. On behalf of the entire teaching fraternity, I just say thanks to Zone 4 Solution and to respected NIDM, one of the top institutions of Government of India, for providing us such a wonderful session, जहां पर हम सभी लोग आकर के अपनी अपनी बातें शेयर कर रहे हैं और इतने एमिनेंट स्पीकर से सीखने को मिल रहा है हमें। सर, मैं बाय क्वालिफिकेशंस आई एम अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट और मेरा एक छोटा सा स्कूल है द्वारका में, और मैं पढ़ाता था बच्चों को। और सम टाइम फॉर्चुनेटली एक बार मैं नकुल सर से मिला एंड इट चेंज माय लाइफ कंप्लीटली। मैंने अपने स्कूल का प्लान करवाया, उसके बाद मैं सर के साथ ज्वाइन हो गया और इनके साथ मैं जाता हूँ, सेशन कराता हूँ। मैं कई सारे स्कूल्स के बच्चों का मुझे लगता है कि मैं लाइफ इम्पैक्ट कर पा रहा हूं, और अगर एक बच्चा सुरक्षित हो गया तो हमने वो सारा, जिसका हमारे फैमिली के लिए वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट रिसोर्स है हमारा फ्यूचर जनरेशन, हमने उसको सिक्योर कर लिया। तो मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि ये वो सेशन है जिसको सुनने के लिए हमें एनआईडीएम ने और जोन फॉर सॉल्यूशन ने वो फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड कराई जो शायद हम सालों तरसते रहते थे। हम प्रैक्टिकल ऑन ग्राउंड लेवल पे जाकर के डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के गुर सीख रहे हैं। जब मैंने पहली बार अपने स्कूल का डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट प्लान कराया तो आई वॉज थिंकिंग कि ये थोड़ा पैसे खर्च होंगे, बट आई वॉज ऑलवेज कीन कि मैं अपने स्कूल में वो सारी फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड करूं अपने बच्चों को। इससे एक मेरी गुडविल ही बहुत अच्छी बन रही थी सोसाइटी के अंदर। तो मैंने देखा कि जब मैंने अपना स्कूल का इनकी जोन फॉर सॉल्यूशन की टीम बुलवाई तो वहां पे उन्होंने आके मेरे स्कूल का हैजार्ड मैपिंग करा और मुझे बताया कि स्ट्रक्चरल और नॉन स्ट्रक्चरल चेंजेस क्या क्या रिक्वायर्ड हैं। जस्ट अ सेकंड। तो उसके बाद मैंने सर के साथ ज्वाइन करा एंड नाउ आई गो टू स्कूल्स और जाकर के वहां पे की स्कूलों में एक्टिविटीज देखता हूं। लोग एंजॉय कर रहे होते हैं, ऑन ग्राउंड प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग मिलती है को, और उनको पता होता है कि इन केस ऑफ इमरजेंसी हमें कैसे टैकल करना है सिचुएशंस को, कैसे फर्स्ट एड की सुविधाएं दी जानी होती है, कैसे हमें हमारे स्कूल में कैसे कमिटीज बनी होनी चाहिए, कहां पे मुझे प्रेजेंट करना है, असेंबली हॉल कैसा होना चाहिए, और कल को खुदा न खास्ता अगर डिजास्टर आ गया तो हमें अपनी लाइफ को कैसे सेव करना है और कैसे हम बाकी लोगों की जिंदगियां बचा सकते हैं। बिकॉज अगर सबसे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट है हम टीचर्स के लिए, तो हमारे लिए हमारे बच्चों की सेफ्टी सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। एंड थैंकफुली वी गॉट एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू हैव अ सेशन फ्रॉम जोन फॉर सॉल्यूशन एंड अनडाउटेडली ये जो सेशन है जो एनआईडीएम ने, इंडिया के इतने बड़े इंस्टीट्यूशन ने खुद आकर के हमें ज्ञान दिया है, इतने बड़े बड़े साहब को सुनने का मौका दिया है। आई फील लाइक दिस वन वर्कशॉप हैज चेंज्ड आवर लाइफ कंप्लीटली। हम लोग ये प्लेज करते हैं कि ये सेशन से जो भी सीखेंगे हम आगे प्रोपोगेट करेंगे, आगे लोगों को बताएंगे, 4 और बच्चों को सिखाएंगे और अपने स्कूल में डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट प्लान सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट को दिखाने के लिए नहीं बनाएंगे, रेदर हम इसको एक हमारी लाइफ में, डेली लाइफ में इसको यूज करना सिखाएंगे। मैं आप सभी लोगों को ये बता देना चाहता हूं कि जोन फॉर सॉल्यूशन खुद मिस्टर नकुल साहब के गाइडेंस के अंदर बहुत ही बढ़िया काम कर रही है। इनकी टीम में बहुत सीनियर प्रोफेशनल्स जो ऑलरेडी डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट के एक्सपर्ट हैं।
प्लीज अब थैंक यू राहुल जी। अब नेक्स्ट करते हैं।
थैंक यू सो मच फॉर गिविंग मी द अपॉर्चुनिटी। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू प्लीज। अच्छा, अभी मॉर्निंग में हम लोगों ने आपको एक मैसेज दिखाया था, एक छोटा सा वीडियो दिखाया था कि जिसमें प्रिंसिपल साहब कह रहे थे खुद ही कि हमें बनाना है। एक प्रिंसिपल का काइंड हमने वो दिखाया है आपको। एक प्रिंसिपल का काइंड हमारे पास और हमारी क्रिएटिव टीम ने बनाया है। वो कोई हार्डली 1.5-2 मिनट का वीडियो है, वो भी आप देखें। एक प्रिंसिपल है जो कैसे रिएक्ट कर रही है डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट प्लान को लेकर के। प्लीज टीम इसे ऑन किया जाए।
नकुल जी,
ये
गुप्ता